Hello, everybody. It's Friday. It's 4 o'clock Pacific time. That means it's time to drink. It's great. Today we've got a bunch of stuff we're going to do. We have breakfast today. So we've got a bunch of different drinks to make. I'm still squeezing some fresh lime for you guys. Well, actually, it's got nothing to do for you guys at all. It's for me. Still doing some lime, which is super yummy. But I think today is kind of a cavalcade. I think we've got a little bit of something for everybody today, right? Some interesting things in the news that happened this week. Today specifically, if you're an NFL fan and a Seahawks fan, you've kind of maybe been following the whole Quentin Dunbar debacle, our cornerback that we picked up out of Washington. Well, this file is under only in freaking Florida. That state's nuts. His lawyer came out with 5 different affidavits for witnesses that swear that he had nothing to do with it. So super interesting. Kind of weird. In other news, which is super cool actually, I don't know if you guys follow alternate energy or technology, things like that, but I know all of you know Tesla and Elon Musk. Today, he announced a bunch of stuff. He's been working on this battery stuff. Elon Musk, the Tesla is just something to make money for his bigger thing. The bigger thing, I think, is all about energy for him, batteries. And he announced a bunch of information about his 1,000,000-mile battery today. Now, the cool thing about that is that there's a certain threshold from a kilowatts per hour price where energy becomes, or electric cars become super cheap. And that magical price is about 100 kilowatts per hour. So if we can make a battery that is less than 100 kilowatts per hour, or $100 per kilowatt hour, right? So the battery stores, it costs less than, well, you guys get it, right? It costs less than $100 to make a battery which stores a kilowatt hour, right? That's kind of the magical thing. At that price point, gas cars and electric cars are about the same price-wise, right? Well, he's actually hit that price point and probably is going below that. Looks like he might even be able to hit somewhere between $60 and $80 per kilowatt hour, which means that electric cars are going to be cheaper, a lot cheaper, which is great if you like big trucks. The torque is awesome, the acceleration is awesome, power is awesome, and these 1,000,000-mile batteries are going to be able to run 500-600 miles on one charge. So that's all cool. That's all in the news. So interesting stuff this week. So breakfast, none of you should avoid breakfast. And so breakfast, I got a donut. I don't get them very often. But for breakfast, donuts are awesome. Also the paper. You get a paper. Anymore, it's about the only section worth reading in the paper. But still, when I think of breakfast, I think about Sunday brunches. I think about kind of finding the coffee nook, having a read of the paper, or a book, or something like that. Or I'm really hungover. It's kind of one of those 3 things for breakfast. So today, we'll do 3 things. We'll start out with the easy one. And this one's one anyone can make. And this is what I call my Sunday brunch drink. It's the Foco Sunrise. Foco for Fort Collins. I got this drink when I was dropping off Hope at Colorado State sometime last year. It's super tasty and super easy to make. Tall glass, a few ice cubes, and all it is orange juice and cherry cider. Okay, and the mix is about 2 parts to 1 part, right? So we'll go ahead and make this bad boy. There's that. Okay, here's the cider. So we've got our OJ. Pouring in our cherry cider. It looks nasty. Tastes really good. We've got ice in there. I'm gonna stir that bad boy up. Oh, that's good. It's as good as I remember it. So that's the FOCO Sunrise. So that's kind of like your Sunday brunch. You're with your parents. You're doing whatever. You want a nice drink. FOCO Sunrise. The next drink is more a little bit of an introspective drink. So let's say you got a good book you're reading. It's a Saturday, or Sunday. Kind of crappy out. So you find your favorite reading nook. Grab your favorite book. Maybe newspaper. Maybe the Bible. I'm going to drink all these, I think. And you want a good drink to kind of get you going and wake up. So that's where we go with the Revolver, right? So it's the FOCO Sunrise. It's kind of your Sunday morning brunch drink. The Revolver is kind of your Saturday morning paper. Grab the funnies, grab the book. Saturday morning paper drink. And it's super easy to make too. I'm going to get a highball glass. Okay. I'm going to fill that up with ice. And this is pretty easy. It's essentially bourbon and coffee liqueur and some orange bitters. So we're going to use Woodinville whiskey or Woodinville bourbon. It's actually pretty good. If you haven't had this, highly recommend you try some. Super tasty. And like everything else, oh man, I forgot a shot glass. How to do that? But like everything else, you should always try what you're drinking, right? So that's very tasty. It's nice. It's sweet. You can taste some of that vanilla. It's got a long tail. When I say it's got a long tail, like you can kind of the ethanol and the alcohol kind of goes down your throat. Bad whiskeys, it just burns, right? Or bad liquors, it just burns. But a good booze, the flavor of the booze will permeate all the way down. That's what I call it's got a good tail. And this has a good tail. So we're going to take about 1 1/3, about 1 1/2 ounces of this stuff, right? Now, technically, I call for 1 1/3, but usually I use about 1 1/2. Okay, so hold on. There's that. We got our bourbon in there. Okay, and now we're going to add some coffee liqueur. I think I told you get XO. This stuff is amazing. It's at Cafe Granita. It's like $12, $13 a bottle. This stuff actually made the point rating. It's like 92-point rating on the booze scale, right? So you got a bunch of booze snobs down in California every year. They kind of rate a bunch of booze. And they entered this one year. I think it was just 2 years ago. They got a 92 rating, which was nuts, right? So we're going to take about 1/3 of an ounce to 1/2 ounce of this. Okay. Pour that in there. We're going to take some orange bitters. Okay. A couple dashes of orange bitters in there. We're going to mix this up. And again, if you don't have a bar spoon, these things are super handy. They do a lot of stuff, and they make it really easy to mix drinks, like stir anyway. And then we're going to take just an orange slice here. And most of the time, you don't need you could garnish this with orange, but really what you're looking for is you're kind of looking for the essence of the orange peel. And we talked about this earlier, where you want to kind of twist that. And you can't see it, but kind of twist the essence in there. And there you go. So this is your Revolver. That is really good. So I don't like coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. But oddly enough, when you give me a coffee liqueur and some bourbon, I'm a coffee drinker. I think those of you, so the coffee liqueur is kind of up to you. I highly recommend this stuff. It's super good. It's super inexpensive. I used to drink a lot of Patron XO. Their coffee flavored liqueur, which I thought was great. This stuff I think is way better. So just imagine that you're reading the paper, whatever. I'm doing some speed reading right now. Oh, that is really good. I know some of you comment that I really don't have anything that I don't like. Everything's really good. Sign of a good bartender in my book. I'm going back to this because I got this. Let's taste it too. Now, so we had the nice kind of mom drink, right? Having breakfast with your in-laws, and you need a drink. Because if you're having breakfast with your in-laws, dude, you need a drink. That's this one, the Foco Sunrise. Super simple. 2 parts of OJ to 1 part of cherry cider. Then we went on to the kind of more introspective, kind of rainy day. I'm reading in the breakfast nook kind of morning, kind of get you going. That's the Revolver. It's about 1 1/3 ounces of bourbon to about 1/3 ounce of coffee liqueur with a couple dashes of orange bitters. Okay, now what happens if you wake up in the morning and you're so drunk you can't even get to the donut? Your head feels like a freaking truck ran over it. You can barely freaking speak, and you swear to God either something shit in your mouth or it's lined with fur. That was me last Saturday morning. Like I told you guys I was going to get my drink on. Yeah, I got my drink on. So last Saturday, super hammered. And I made this drink. This is what I call the Suffering Bastard. Okay? And actually, it turns out to be a pretty darn good drink for a post-hangover, right? Experience. The reason why I say that is because it's got just enough booze to kind of get you back into real life, but it's got enough caffeine and other stuff to kind of peck you up and make you feel good, right? It's a little bit more involved. So, gonna get our shaker out. I got my little personal shaker here. I'm gonna fill it up with ice. Too much ice there. Okay. Put some ice in that bad boy. I'm going to use 1 ounce of bourbon. Okay. Top that off just a little bit more. You can never add too much bourbon to any drink, I don't think. We got our dry gin. It's our beef eaters. We had this in like week 1 or 2. I'm going to use 1 ounce of this. So bourbon and gin. And half of you right now are like, oh my God, Steve, you're not really going to drink that. Hell's to the ass, I'm going to drink this. This is the best thing for a freaking hangover. I swear you. I wish I would have known how to make this in college, for criminy sake. So, and then we've got our freshly squeezed lime juice. We're going to take 1/2 ounce of that. There we go. 1/2 ounce of that stuff. Yummy, yummy. And we're going to take our regular bitters. We're going to shake in a couple dashes into our shaker. Oh boy, oh my God. Gotta go to the liquor store. I'm almost out of bitters. Okay, so there we go. Bitters. Never run out of bitters. It's just a bad thing. Okay. And we're going to shake it. I want to have a donut. Oh, good. Now, this is one of those drinks that you kind of want cold. After a hangover, it's a good idea. So, we're shaking our drink. Remember, get it nice and cold. All right? I'm going to take a highball glass here. I'm going to fill that highball glass with ice. We're going to pour. We just shook up. You should have about 2.5 ounces of liquid in here. Or 3 if you cheated and added a little bit more gin and bourbon like I do. Okay, now what I have found is the more hungover you are, the more ginger ale helps, right? So you got your liquor in there and some lime. Take your ginger ale, pour it on the top of that bad boy. Give it a spin. Okay. And since this is an art house show, we're going to top it with a sprig of mint. Freshly picked mint, I might add. Look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? It almost looks too good for a hangover, right? So this is a suffering bastard. It's an interesting drink. Like, I think when most of you drink it, it's hard to, like, it's not a super flavorful drink. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes more like ginger ale than anything, and the more ginger ale you put in it, of course, the more it's going to take on that. The botanicals actually kind of neutralize the sweetness of the bourbon, so you don't really get a lot of a boozy taste. It might be good to actually muddle the mint. I've never done it before, but now that I'm thinking about it, that might be good. But this is your ultimate hangover drink, the Suffering Bastard. So again, super easy to make. Ounce of bourbon, ounce of dry gin, half ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice, shaker, shake. Oh, some bitters, a couple dashes of bitters. Put it in the shaker, shake it. The more drunk you are, the more ginger ale you want to use. So shake your drink up, put it in a nice glass, add your ginger ale, stir, add your mint sprig, and it almost looks respectable. But this drink has just enough kind of giddy up to get you moving past that massive headache, right? So you can face that truck another day. Oh man, Suffering Bastard. There's no suffering in drinking it though. I like this. I'm gonna have to double fist this. I think this is gonna be one of those Fridays that Molly's probably not very pleased with me. Occasionally she gets upset at these when I make a lot of drinks. So, Foco Sunrise. We started it with a beautiful mother-in-law drink. Oh, Steve, that's the best drink ever. That's so awesome. And it's easy. 2 parts of OJ to 1 part cherry cider. And then we kind of went with, I'm spending some alone time with myself in the morning, reading a book, doing something cool, learning something. So with the Revolver, which is about 1 1/3 to 1 1/2 parts bourbon, to about 1/3 to 1/2 ounce of coffee liqueur, couple dashes of orange bitters, and then we've got an orange peel in there. You want to kind of take the essence, you squeeze that orange peel in there. You could probably use an orange, but I think the orange bitters adds just enough to the coffee liqueur where you don't need it. And then for those mornings where you swear to God someone just kicked you straight up in the nuts and you fell over and then they smacked you in the face with a baseball bat, and you wake up and you find an animal laying across your face, the Suffering Bastard. Cure for all this. In fact, maybe this is a cure for all this. I'm betting that this could actually help stop COVID-19. This is good stuff. So 1 ounce of bourbon, 1 ounce of dry gin, 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice, 2 dashes of bitters. Shake that up, get it nice and cold. Find yourself a glass, either a highball glass. If you're really drunk, probably want a little bit bigger glass. Fill it full of ice. Dump the booze over the ice. Put in ginger ale. Like I said, what I have found is the more you're suffering, the more ginger ale you probably need in a drink. And then a mint sprig because we're civilized here. That's tasty. I mean, you don't have to be hungover to drink it. Really, none of these you do. They're all pretty good. I'd say the one kind of outliers the Falco Sunrise because it's like orange juice and stuff and just kind of seems like it's a morning thing. But whatever. So those are the breakfast drinks we've got on tap for today. Next week, I haven't figured out next week, but I think, so for those of you that have kind of been following along and have kind of been looking at what I've been doing on Facebook, you'll know that like last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I was experimenting quite a bit with booze and different drinks. I worked on a variant of a martini that is freaking to die for. That's amazing. I made my first true aviation, which is super yummy. I made some variants of that, which is a gin drink. We may do that next week so that we can progress to the ultimate like freaky martini. I mean, you guys thought the Vesper had a lot of booze in it. This one actually has a little bit more booze in it, but it's totally different. A totally different flavor. It's different. But it ended up being really good. And that's how I got super hammered last Friday night, was thinking about that thing. But they ended up being good. So, breakfast is for champions. Breakfast, don't skip it. Breakfast, drink your breakfast on an empty stomach. Maybe add a donut. They're good. We'll think of something fun for next week. I haven't decided what it is. I think that Friday before Memorial Day, though, that's when I may unveil the new martini on you guys, just for the folks that are like sticking around on that Friday before Memorial Day. Hell, it's not like it was even really Memorial Day anyway. I forgot it was Memorial Day until someone at work actually told me I had the day off, and I'm like, dude, who cares? So anyway, breakfast for champions, Foco Sunrise, Revolver, Suffering Bastard, all great choices for breakfast. We'll think of something fun next week. Like always, I'll post Wednesday or Thursday for the ingredients, and then we'll make it and we'll have a good time. So, I hope you guys got some good ideas for breakfast drinks. It'd be interesting to kind of play with a different kind of liqueurs in that Revolver, but honestly, it's a pretty good mix, so I don't know if I'd mess it up too much. Hope you guys have a safe and sane weekend. Be careful out there, and drink well. Cheers, guys.